on your liver may not only be making you gain weight, it could also be making you feel things like tired, foggy-headed, and, well, just old. That's why this weird detox secret could make you feel healthier, more energetic, and even younger than you have in years. Hi, my name is Dr. Holly Lucille. I'm a licensed naturopathic doctor, and I've been featured as a health expert on national programs like The Dr. Oz Show and The Doctors.
All right, so we'll call the Parks Board of July 26th to order. Will Mr. Bennett do pledge allegiance, please?
Absolutely. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right. I think Mr. Keith said no citizens' comments, right? All right.
Correct, yes, sir.
All right. I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes. Mr. Bennett first, and Mr. Head second. Old business, excuse me. All in favor? Aye. No opposed. Thank you. All right. Old business, park project updates.
Thank you, sir. Inline hockey is going well. We're having meetings out there every 2 weeks. It should be getting close to where we're done with the underground site work and getting ready to start seeing the building go up in mid-August. So if anybody has any questions about that one. Jeremy and maintenance staff are working on additional security cameras at Drake's Creek. We'll keep you updated as those are installed. That's going to be a helpful thing for everybody. And also, a little help from you all, since the Parks Board's in the park a lot. If you see any signs or anything that are in disrepair, let us know. We're kind of undertaking a little project where we go around and rehabilitate our signs, speed limit, no parking, things like that. If you just see things in disarray, let us know. And we're working on we're going to start at Sanders Ferry with a major overhaul, but anything in between times, let us know if you see anything that needs updating. That's all I have under park projects.
Any questions for Mr. Gillis? Sorry. All right. New business, Tennessee Bass Nation High School Youth Tournament, Jake Davis. You can just come to the mic and state your name, please, sir.
Thank you for having me up here. My name is Jake Davis. I'm the state director for Tennessee Bass Nation in youth. We are the largest tournament trail for youth in the country. We're sort of proud of that. We've held it now for 3 years. And, you know, basically what I'm here to do today is Miss Andrea said I need to come up, talk to y'all, and ask your permission to use Saunders Ferry Park down there at the boat launch ramp to host a tournament. It is a very sizable tournament. It'll range from 225 to 250 boats is what we were averaging last year. We are going to see some growth this year, so it may be 260 or 270. Normally what we do is we come in the night before. I'll bring in the staff the night before. We'll set up we have a stage trailer that we set up with all the displays and all the normal circumstances and tents with the trail. Our tents don't require anything like stakes going in the ground. Stage trailer, we tend to put it on a pad, and we bring that pad with us. It's basically just 2x12s, so we don't sink into the ground. Okay. We don't charge any as far as entry, spectators coming down to visit or anything like that. The high school teams do pay an entry fee for it. So do the junior teams that come in. When we're all done that evening, everybody will chip in, pick everything up, clean it up, and leave it the way we found it, if not better. And we're normally out of there right around 5:30, 6 o'clock in the evening. So probably the biggest challenge will be for us and my staff will be parking all the trucks, trailers, everything like that to where we don't tear things up. If it gets wet down there, we'll send people to alternate ramps to where, if we got too much rain and we're going to tear something up, we'll start sending people to alternate ramps across the river to Chutes Branch or something along those natures down to the dam.
All right. Any questions?
I had one technical question on here. It shows on your event for April the 9th, but you said you may need the night before to set up. Do you want 8 and 9?
Actually, we've had to back that up. I believe I called Ms. Andre on that. We backed that up to March 26th due to a conflict with Bassmaster Elite Trail in Dayton. We swapped the dates with Hendersonville or Old Hickory and with Chickamauga to accommodate the Elite Trail to be on Chickamauga on April 9th. Okay. So we'll be in on the 25th.
Okay.
Is when I'll set the trailer up and most likely leave it down there, if that's okay with the Parks Board. I don't know. I haven't talked to the city PD yet to see, if I can arrange for a heightened patrol down there, because this trailer I'm proud of it, and it houses all of our equipment, and it's probably close to $150,000 worth of equipment and trailer in there that I was able to get rather, shall we say, fruitfully.
Okay.
I have some very good sponsors that have helped us out.
That's good.
So, and I get a little protective over that trailer and what's going on with it. So it may be down there if I can arrange for a heightened patrol from the city police department. If not, it will go with me to the hotel wherever I'm staying.
Gotcha. That's it. And Andrea, we have no conflicts with those dates?
So you're wanting March now instead of April?
Yes, that's what I asked
Okay.
you the other day, March 26th versus April 9th.
Okay, I thought you wanted April 9th instead
I'm
of March
sorry.
26th. I'd have to check the calendar, but if my recollection, I don't think we have anything in March at that date. So
Okay.
that should be fine, but I'd have to confirm on that.
Okay, I thought I may have messed something up there in my email to you.
Any more questions?
Just to clarify, did you say that the teams would be paying an entry fee?
Yes, the teams pay an entry fee at every tournament. It's a $40 entry fee.
Okay, and you are listed as a nonprofit here, so what does the
Every-
entry fee go toward?
Everything gets paid back as scholarship funds
Okay,
that day.
okay.
So everything plus some.
Andrew, did they have all their proper paperwork in?
They do.
Okay. Any more questions?
I've got a question or two.
All right, Andy.
One of mine was, what was the entry fee? I would suggest, based on what you just said about your trailer, that you get with our staff and get with the police department where you could maybe arrange to hire off-duty overnight security.
That's normally what I do.
Yeah, I think that would be to your, instead of just asking them to patrol a little extra, it'd probably be benefit to hire somebody to sit. Just my
Okay.
opinion. But we can get you in contact with the person with our police department that does that.
Okay.
I would just suggest, and whoever makes the motion to approve this, that you say pending staff, working with them to make sure the date is clear. I feel like it probably will be, but that makes sense. And she can go after you're done, maybe you can go down.
And Andrea,
check that.
there's some other dates we can back it up to. If there is something there, I've got some other dates available.
Yeah, we can, as soon as we vote here, she can go down to the office and maybe check on that for you.
Okay.
All right, any more
That's all.
questions? Any more questions? I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve pending they work with the park staff to make sure the date is available.
And do I have a second? All right, Mr. Head made a motion. Mr. White second. All in favor, say aye. 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 All right, passes.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Unite Summer Movie Night. Aaron Birch, if you'll state your name, please.
Good evening. My name is Erin Birch. I'm the CEO of United Way of Sumner County. I'm sure most of you are very familiar with our organization. We are a nonprofit that serves solely Sumner County here, and we've been doing that since 1977. We work with to serve the community in areas of education, health, and financial stability. So I am here tonight to request for us to host a family-oriented movie in the park in September at Veterans Park next to Mary's Magical Place. We would like to do that in September on Saturday, September 25th of this year to kick off our 2021 awareness and fundraising campaign. The event is free. We will not charge any admission for the event. We will ask for donations of any amount via the screen, whether it be text to give or what have you. But again, there is no admission fee. We will be handing out information regarding our agencies that we work with, which are 34 different nonprofits in Sumner County, as well as Sumner County Schools, the Sumner County Resource Center, and then our 211, which is our live referral 24/7 helpline. So we will be handing out that information. We'd like to be in the park that Saturday afternoon between 3 and 6 for setup. The festivities will begin at 6:30 with the arrival of different food trucks. And we hope to have at least 2 food trucks serving a main meal, sandwiches, side items, salads, sandwiches, beverages, that sort of thing. And then an ice cream truck and a popcorn truck to go along with our movie theme. The movie would begin at 7:30, and we're working with Clubhouse Events Group to secure the movie screen. And we're in the process of securing the copyright license to show the movie as well. And we're working with Swank Motion Pictures on that. And we're hoping for somewhere around 300 attendees, and we should be packed up and out of the park by 10:30 is our hope.
Do we have any questions? I have one. I don't know if Aaron, I think, has stepped away. On the food truck, ice cream truck, do we have the proper paperwork? Will they require paperwork to be able to do that?
They will. Once they figure out their food vendors, they'll need to provide insurance for that, and it's a $30 vendor fee. But Andrea will work on that.
Okay. Does those dates work as far as y'all know?
Yes, they will. They'll be set up right next to Mary's Magical Place. We will have fall baseball going on over there at the park during the daytime, but in the evening, this should work fine.
I also have copies of some of the information that we'll be providing to the community.
Any more questions, guys? All right. You got anything, Andy? Or anything?
Only that I want to thank the United Way for bringing this to the community. I think it'd be a great night.
Thank you.
So thank you, and we'll help any way we can.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
All right, I will entertain a motion. Mr. Perry made a motion.
Second.
Yeah, Mr. Bennett seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Passes.
Thank you, board.
Thank you. All right. Rookie rugby, Mr. Silkwood. How you doing, Mr. Silkwood?
So our league is proposing to start it's within rugby Q called Rookie Rugby. Essentially, it's a non-tackle version of rugby for younger kids. And so we are wanting to start out, they've done this down in Williamson County, generally would just be on a 1 day a week, have the kids come out, practice a little bit ahead of time, and then we'll do 2 to 3 games afterwards. It's a fast pace. Essentially, think of it almost like flag football, but we're just using rugby rules, same overall thought process. And we're kind of earmarking more from like 10, I think probably 10-year-olds and up. But obviously, as they get older, we would, move them more into the tackle version that we currently play at the middle school and high school kids. So just trying to expand some of the offerings we have through our program.
Anybody have any questions?
Yeah. There's some good rugby going on right now for sure. Olympics playing. US is 2-0.
I think my only question is, how does this impact what they're doing? I mean, I know it's essentially adding a league, basically. Is this going to be doable, I'm assuming?
Yes, it will. I think you're planning to play Sundays. Is that correct?
To start out, we're thinking we would do it for probably about 8 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks on a every Sunday basis, for about an hour and a half. I mean, when you got younger kids, I think attention span couldn't go much longer than that. So, again, we're hoping to build off this. So it's probably not concrete forever, but it's kind of what we're thinking about to start.
Yeah, most of their games are on Saturdays when the exception they have tournaments and that sort of thing. We'll schedule around that when that occurs.
All right, I will entertain a motion to.
Well, I would say with everything else that's been done over there, it's been done very well, very successful. And I would make a motion that we approve this.
Mr. White make a motion to approve. Mr. Head seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Good job, Mr. Silkwood.
Thank you.
Hey, it's great. That whole field has been, that whole program up there is just growing. It's awesome. Awesome job y'all done.
Thank you.
All right. Galactic football tournament, Gaelic, whatever it is.
Gaelic football.
Molly Buckley. Sorry, I butchered that.
That's okay. Galactic's fine. Okay, my name is Molly Buckley, and I'm the fields coordinator for the Nashville Gaelic Athletic Club. And I've brought Noah Fitzpatrick. He's our chairman of our club. So our club was founded in 2014, and we play the Irish sports of hurling and Gaelic football. And we're requesting to host a Gaelic football tournament at Drakes Creek Park on November 13th. So Gaelic football is similar to soccer. It kind of incorporates a few different techniques of different sports, but you play on a soccer-sized field, and the ball is like a soccer ball, kind of like a volleyball. You can kick the ball, you can dribble the ball, you could hand pass the ball, and the goal is just to get the ball into the goal is 3 points. Above the goal is 1 point. So we're trying to find a park that we can host in November. Normally, we use metro parks, but they close in October, and we're wanting to just utilize a field in the cooler months, and we thought Drakes Creek would be a really good option. So a little more information. We're requesting from 9 to 5 on November 13th. We'd probably get there and set up around 7 a.m., and we have opening ceremonies, and then we'd have games that would start. We're registered with the USGAA, and we're in the Southeast Division, so we'd be inviting clubs within the Southeast. So at least maybe like 25 to 30 people, at most maybe 70. And then we would play until 5 p.m. that evening. We are a nonprofit 501c3, and we're not looking to make money from this event. We're mainly just trying to find a place to play Irish sports with other clubs around the region. I also, I think I sent this to Andrea, we will provide a medical professional on site for games, and we're willing to use a preferred food vendor from the list that Andrea gave us as well. I think that's all I have. If anyone has any questions for me.
Anybody have any questions at all?
I got one question.
Okay.
Can we send you a hotel list for Hendersonville for you to send to your register?
I believe Andrea already sent me that list.
That'd be great if
Yeah.
you could make sure that gets out
Okay, for sure.
to your people.
Okay,
Thank you.
can do that.
Great point, Andy. How does that, Dallas, or anybody, impact with the soccer? I know at some point in time, we kind of shut those fields down for maintenance.
Yeah, the fields will still be open during that time. Rec soccer's season is scheduled to end the weekend before that. Tennessee United may have a couple of games or using a couple of fields, but we'll have field space for them to use that day. Yep.
All right, I will, if there's no question, you got a question, Mr. Ed?
You said you're a 501c3 nonprofit.
Yes,
Do you have the form that you can provide the Parks Department with?
I do. Yes, I can send that to Andrea. We also have our certificate of insurance through the city of Hendersonville.
All right, any more questions? Do I have a motion?
A motion to approve, provided they bring the proper documentation to the parks.
It's been, I made a motion, Mr. Perry second. All in favor, say aye.
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 All right, thank you.
All right. HSC Fall Adult Soccer, Mr. Scudder. You know the drill.
Been a while. Richard Scudder with HSE Adult Soccer, and we have been doing adult soccer 5 years, 4 seasons because of taking the COVID off, but it's always just been a summer event. And it's just reached the point where demands got from players that they would like a little more soccer. So think of it, just kind of like adult softball, adult basketball. There's just a lot of adults that want to continue to play for a lot of reasons, not just competitive reasons, but for exercise and camaraderie, et cetera. And we run it under HSC Rec program. So it's not a separate league or anything like that. Think of it just like instead of a U10 division, there's an adult division. It's just the first time we've moved into taking it from just strictly a summer league. into the fall. And we do not plan to have it a year-round sport. We're going to take always the spring off. One reason is I need a break. Players, I think, enjoy the break. It makes it look more forward to coming back into the summer and fall if you've had the spring off. Plus, rain was a concern, and don't want to get into a bunch of rescheduling because of rain, because we already know field space is really tight anyway. We want to do Wednesday nights. It is really the only weeknight that really makes sense for us to play. Between Monday, Tuesday, and especially Thursday nights, between Hendersonville Soccer Club rec program and the Tennessee United practices, there's just really no field space. So that's what we want to do. And we've grown adult soccer from first year I did it, and I've always ran it through Dallas. It's nothing I've done rogue or anything like that. But, the first year we played small-sided games. We had 6 teams, and, grassroots, I got about 50 players. And this last summer, we had 218 players and 18 teams. The only difference to this one is that we are going to, it's always been, if you want to be 60 years old, such as I, and play, I still have to chase a 19-year-old. And we are going to move it to a 30-plus, and then what we call an 18 open. If you're 60 and you want to chase a 19-year-old, more power to you. But I don't see it. But it's really been something that, fingers crossed, it's always worked well. They're not all Boy Scouts, but at the end of the day, we've done it 5 years and really not had, a bad event. We run everything, the referees through Eddie Polk, and they're all sanctioned referees. And, red cards are awarded when necessary, very few and far between, but they go all the way up to the state to report the violators of that. So we run it above board.
Do we have any questions for Mr. Scudder?
This is probably more for the staff, but correct me if I'm wrong, that Tennessee United was also doing some kind of adult league earlier, maybe a couple of meetings ago. How does that coincide with this?
So Hendersonville Soccer Club has run the summer adult league since I've been here. I think, like he said, maybe 4 or 5 years. That's always been the summer. Tennessee United came before the board earlier this summer to do a kind of a pickup league. It's kind of, the best comparison would be for basketball, like an open gym compared to an actual adult basketball league. Tennessee United had 18 players in their league, and it was just kind of they meet up and they play some games. Richard's league was an actual formed league with teams, a schedule, and they had about 200 players. So I asked Richard to come before you guys tonight to propose the fall league. Tennessee United was just during the summer months was their proposal.
And I can just add, Alex Gabers was in charge of that. Me and her have great communication. She's actually played in my league 3 out of the 4 years as a participant.
Any more questions? All right, I'll entertain a motion to, Mr. Bennett made a motion to approve. Mr. White seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. Good job.
Thank you very much.
I can't believe you don't. You still have game. Chase a 19-year-old, man. You still have game.
Minutes are very slim.
Thank you, Mr.
They like me because I'm the least demanding of playing time.
Appreciate it. All right. Hockey rink rental fees, Mr. Gilly.
Thank you, sir. On page 21 in your packet, working with the Inline Hockey Association and looking at what some other areas do, we came up with the rates that are listed on page 21. It's very similar to what we do with other fields and other sports. In the email there, I think it's critical that you all continue your what you've done in the past when events come forward, and we've asked them to partner with one of our local groups. That's been very successful, and the groups have been good as they've hosted tournaments and benefited from those to take those funds and turn around and invest back into the park. So these rates are just money that would come back to the city for rink rentals. And like I said, it's very much in line with what we have in other sports. So this will be added to our special event handbook going forward. And I will say, to the best of my knowledge, we have commitments from two pretty major inline hockey tournaments for the winter and the spring, with the understanding that our rinks will be open by then. So that seems to be paying off already. If anybody has any questions, I will take them.
Any questions for Mr. Gilly? Mr. White?
I have one question to make sure that I understand the wording and that it's clear. Under sports tournaments where it says additional mandatory fee of $100 per Saturday and/or Sunday, would that be, if it's Saturday and Sunday, would it be $100 for Saturday and $100 for Sunday?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
And I'm assuming we need a motion for this. Am I correct?
Yes.
All right. I will entertain a motion to pass this. Mr. White?
I make a motion that we, is this motion, Director Gilly, to send it on to BOMA?
Well, I've
For
asked that
approval?
question, but as of right now, I think it stops here, but
Okay,
it could be that it goes forward, but
okay.
I think if you make a motion to
Make a
adopt
motion to-
these,
Make a motion to adopt the fee structure as stated.
Yes, sir.
In the email, and that we do require a partnership with Inline Hockey
or any,
or any
Yeah, good.
group that they want to come through, but
yeah,
we,
that won't be in our handbook. It'll be something you all will require on
on each
each
one.
one.
Okay. So then that we require them to partner with a group when they come in.
All right, Mr. White made the motion. Do I have a second? Mr. Head, second.
I'm going to restate that, if that's all right.
That's
Make it
fine.
easier when they do the minutes. Motion to adopt these fees as suggested by the park staff is what I'm going to put on there.
So I have a motion by Mr. White with the amendment by Mr. Gilly, and I have Mr. Head as a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, Mr. Gilly.
Thank you.
I guess, Keith, do we need to have, is the financial statement there for rugby just for our,
Well, this was the 6 months, and we sort of went back and forth a little bit with the groups needed to come in, or I think the board requested on the 6 months at the end of June, and then also at the end of December to come up to report and see if you all had any questions. I don't think it'd be as extensive as it will be at the end of the year statements, because you're getting these on a monthly basis now, so you should catch anything or have any questions on a monthly basis. We usually try to answer those as they come up each month. But most of the groups are here this evening with representatives. But they were, that's something the board requested, that we do that every 6 months.
And this is also Tennessee Nine's full year report
Yeah, this is
tonight.
Tennessee, of course.
Everyone else is a 6 month.
I guess, let's just call each one up and just see if anybody has anything.
It's also a good little chance for them to give us any updates for their league if they
I
have
guess the
them.
first one, we'll start out with Mr. Silkwood with rugby.
Yeah.
Give y'all a few minutes to look at this real quick.
I've seen it. I'm ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do y'all have any questions for Mr. Silkwood? Brian, do you have anything to share? Any?
I think one of the biggest things to just talk about, we had two pretty successful tournaments in the spring. The state championship that we held here, we had close to 1,000 people probably out there over the 2 days that event went on, when you count players, coaches, and fans. So it was a pretty good, good revenue generator for us. I think we made a little bit over 5,000 roughly, kind of give you guys an idea. Sold some T-shirts and, had some people from out of town, stay and enjoy our town. And then we had one other event prior to that one where we had a couple teams from Atlanta and Knoxville come in. It was a smaller event, but still had people staying in town, as well. And then we had recently had one of the local, it's based here in the Nashville area, but it's actually a South Select team that deals with Olympic development rugby programs, development camp. And they've used you guys have previously called the USA South Panthers. they've used our complex a couple times, and they've had people, numerous people be in here for, Friday, Saturday night, staying at the hotels and hanging out. So, all in all, pretty good. The only thing that's not on there, but just to let you guys be aware, we're going to spend probably somewhere between $8 to $9 grand next week on top dressing the fields. So we've got about 10 to 11 truckloads of sand coming out. We're paying for that, so to start getting those fields even a little bit more pristine than where they are. So thanks to Jeremy and his staff getting the fields ready to go for Lynn Ray to come out and get that taken care of.
Thank you for giving back. We really appreciate that. Any questions for Mr. Head?
Yeah, it's just a point on the form. First off, thanks for everything you do. Y'all do a terrific job, excuse me. On other miscellaneous, when you list stuff in there, if it's more than $500, please attach what it is.
That was on the I guess it was on most of the prior months. This is my first time doing a 6-month one,
Yeah,
so
it's not a
I
problem.
didn't realize that. But on the prior months, whenever we had miscellaneous, I put on there like, some of it was T-shirt sales, some of it was paying for the state annual fee, CPA fees. Those are some of the miscellaneous. Whedon, those are some of the ones I'm seeing just right off top. So, but I'll try to remember that for the bigger ones too.
Appreciate that.
Mr. White, do you have anything? No. Okay.
Got one question. Brian, on your gate fees, is that from tournaments?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
What I thought.
that's the only thing we put on there for that gate fee was the actual tournament.
When the tournaments come in, who gets the entry fees?
We don't.
Y'all don't get any part of that? You just get to keep the gate?
So on the tournaments we've had so far, none of it has been a team entry fee price. So for the state tournament, the state of Tennessee covers all the entry fees and everything to do with the referees and all that, so that we don't have to charge for that.
Yeah.
And then that other smaller tournament, we didn't even charge gate fee. It was more of getting our younger players, more teams to come in to play. The middle school kids, there's not as many teams around. And so we were bringing in some people in, so nothing was charged. That tournament gate fee was all from the state championship tournament, that one weekend.
Another question I had is you don't have anything under expenses for officials.
Yep, that's all, all that
the
runs through the state of Tennessee. So when we have a pretty high
Yep.
per player fee that has to go to the state, and then that covers all of that when it comes to officials. We don't
That's
have to
great.
we don't have to run that through our program. Now, that may change, but
I
the
think
way it
that's
is
great.
right now, that's how it's handled.
The only other question I had was, did the men's adult tournament give anything back to you guys? when
I
they
got
came?
the $500 check, and so I did get that for the beer permit.
I wanted to make sure that.
Yep, I got that check. Yep,
That was for the beer permit. but
For the beer permit, yeah.
In terms of any other donation back, did they?
they did the $500 for using the fields in the spring.
Okay.
So that I've gotten about $1,000 for the couple of times they've been out there,
Thank you.
or our organization, since
Any
sorry.
more questions? No. Mr. Silkwood, thank you very much for
Thank
what
you.
you do, man. Really appreciate it. Mid-South Senior Softball, they're not here. So
No, I can, if anybody has any questions for Roy, I'd be glad to handle those. No concessions. They're basically, as you all know, just trying to break even and not get hurt. Okay, that's pretty much the senior men's softball, so.
What about the inline hockey? Anybody?
Yes,
Be here?
Red is here. Yes, sir. Michael had actually filled out the paperwork, but he could not be here, their treasurer. Red is on their board, and so said he would be here, answer any questions if you need anything.
All right, Red.
How you doing?
Any questions for inline, anything you see? Anybody?
I didn't see anything, no.
I think we're good.
I just have one question.
Yes, go ahead, Mr.
Would,
Wood.
You may not be ready to answer this, so apologize for putting you on the spot, but
No worries.
I think one thing we've talked about is you guys getting ready and prepared to have kind of a little capital campaign to help with other improvements going forward. So I want to make sure that you all continue to discuss that and have that ready, because I know there's like a couple of things in the hockey project that got taken out, like a locker room and things like that. I think it would be really beneficial if you all could help with that
Okay.
as we get down the road. That shouldn't be a surprise to anybody, so.
No, it's not. I mean, we've been working with local businesses to get sponsorships
Yeah.
During the season, but we don't have any formal capital campaign.
And just
put
make
together.
sure, as you guys get your sponsorship program, get ready, make sure we get that approved
Okay.
up here through our guidelines. If you got any updates on either of the tournaments that I mentioned at all, or, you know, I don't want to
think
speak out
they're-
of turn on that, or
No, they're,
till we're ready to
it's
talk
really
about it.
dependent on when the rinks get finished.
Yeah.
We've got people with lots of interest, but it's hard for them to put out a date certain when we don't know when the rinks are going to be complete. They'd love to do one in the fall, in the late fall, and they'd love to do one in the spring as well. So the interest is there. It's just a matter of timing.
That's all. I think that's all we got. Thank you very much. Let's see. Hendersonville Cross, Mr. Greg Mitchell. Brother Mitchell, do you need to speak?
Yeah, thank you. Quick update. Thank you for your support of our lacrosse instructional. About a week and a half ago, we had about 25 kids out, ages kindergarten through 8th grade. And probably the biggest takeaway was the level of excitement among parents of kindergartners through 2nd graders. They were really interested, believe it or not, in starting a little team of you know, it would be co-ed, K through 2nd graders, boys and girls, no goalies, maybe 4-on-4. So we're having conversations about that, which is kind of a new thing for us. Yeah, it'd be great. It'd be great. Right now, we're actually a group of our team. They're at Beach High School tonight, recruiting new players. Beach has a 2-night registration period, and so one of our parents invited us out to set up a table, which is the first time for us doing that. And so when I left, the girls had about seven girls signed up to play next year. So we're pretty excited. So I'm heading back over there after we leave here. Right now, we're in the middle of signups. We've got, you know, our numbers for the boys' side have just increased almost by double from last year. Our girls are about the same; they're remaining stable, and our middle school boys are growing as well. So we're pretty excited about that, and I think we'll get started here with our parent meetings next month. As far as our financials, one thing I do want to point out, Mr. Head, that under our miscellaneous amount, we will be sure to itemize that to account kind of, it's over the $500 amount, so we'll make sure that we outline what those are at our next 6-month report. But I'm open for any questions if you have any.
Anybody have any questions? Mr. White?
The $12,000 in donations?
Yes.
What do you guys do there?
Yeah, that was part of our Lights capital campaign. We have partnered with UCause. UCause is they're a software philanthropic company. They facilitate philanthropic giving. But Dell Technologies actually has been the ones that have matched us dollar for dollar. For every dollar that we raise, they match it. So that 12,000 accounts for all of our Lights for Lax activities for this year. And so basically that we just transferred that money over to our separate account that we've set aside for our Lights fundraising campaign. And we do plan on boosting that again this year as well. Now that it seems like, with things with COVID have kind of give us some flexibility to do that through restaurants. So we've already started that as well.
Any more questions? Thank you, Mr. Mitchell.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. What about anybody from Hendersonville Soccer Club? Okay. Oh, there's Todd. He was kind of hid behind somebody. Thank you, Todd.
Does anybody have any questions on the financials? One thing I did want to point out, you'll see more towards the top in the miscellaneous revenue, that we're fully paid back up from 3.5 years ago, what we went through. So that was kind of a surprise, but a good surprise. So,
Any questions for Todd?
Just state what you did for park improvements so everybody on TV can know what you've been doing.
well, we do, each fall and each spring, we do the $4,000 for the turf development. And then we gave some money for some honor the game signs that you guys put up there. And I know we're looking at, we talked to Andy within the last month of possibly maybe placing a cover over the concessions, the main concessions of the middle there, to cover it kind of like where the other concession is in the back soccer fields, to give some people some shade in that area. So obviously we'll work with Dallas and Andy on that and see what we come up with for that.
Any more questions? All right, thank you, Todd.
All right,
Appreciate it.
thank you.
Civitan, Rob?
Mr. Whitaker will be stepping in for Rob this evening.
Brian Whitaker, I'm the president of Civitan.
Welcome, Mr. Whitaker. Any questions for Mr. Whitaker in Civitan? Give us a minute to look at this real quick.
Anytime. Anytime. Thanks.
If you want to state the park improvements, just so everybody knows.
Essentially what that was we took over the concession stand at Volunteer Park, so there was some equipment we had to buy to put in that stand. In conjunction with all the tournaments we have, we didn't have adequate freezer space, so we had to buy 2 freezers, and that's about $2,000 of that $7,000.
Thank you. Anything else? Good job, man.
Thank you.
All right. Tennessee United Soccer.
Hi, I'm Lindsay Walters, and I am the treasurer of Tennessee United.
Any questions for her? I think we got everything.
I can tell you some neat things about Tennessee United if you want to hear them.
Yes, we want to.
So we are part of, this season, we've started a new league that we get to be a part of. We applied and were accepted. We're part of the NPL for our boys and the SCCL for our girls. And so it exposes our players to more regional competition instead of just staying in the Tennessee, area and local area. So we get to play and send players further across our region. So that's really exciting. We have restructured our billing, so you might see that our totals are a little bit higher than they normally are for this year, but that's because we've restructured our billing and started a 10-month billing program instead of having just everybody pay per season. We have for our U14 and below, they are now on a 10-month schedule that also includes their winter training. So it's really exciting that we have that ability to offer them some winter training. We have, through family donation and just a complete, it was wonderful, a donation on the Klinger family's part that they completely remodeled and renovated the back of the Drakes Creek Park concession stand area. Back there to a coaches, it's like coaches and team training room. They put a big screen up there. They painted the walls. They've lined up all of our jerseys and trophies, and it's really neat space. If you get a chance to go out there and take a look at it, it really is amazing. They've painted a mural with the Tennessee United logo. It's pretty great, and it was all done through just a generous family who wanted to donate their and make that a really great place for our coaches and teams. So that was really exciting. Our fall tournament's in the works, and we're really excited about that. We've got some planning going on, and bringing some teams in and working with hotels and things like that as well. Yeah, any other questions or anything?
Any questions?
You also want to just announce your park improvements, things that you've done for the parks.
Sure, we always give to the turf improvements. We also did turf development, honor the game signs. We partnered with the parks to buy some gators and things like that. And so just love being a partnership with the Parks Department. So
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Appreciate that. Anything else, guys? All right, thank you very much. All right. Let's see, financial reports update, we got that. You've got the special list, event list in your packet. All right. Ms. Hamlin, somebody giving Ms. Hamlin's report for her tonight, or do we have anything?
I can give a brief report and let you know that her summer kids club went well. They did a great job. Had great workers, great participants. Everything was a wonderful job, and I want to thank Mr. Frank at Merrill Hyde for letting us have that program there this summer. She will be working on registration coming up for the preschool track meet, one of our favorite events of the year. So be on the lookout for that.
All right. Recreation Coordinator, Mr. Evans.
All right, couple quick updates. We just finished Kickball, which is our new 5U program that we started this summer for the first time. So thanks to Ryan McDuffie, Framework Athletics, they hosted us this summer. We had 40 that did that program. We've got 20 that we're going to use actually this fall on Field 10. So we're going to do it outside. And then we've got our T-ball. Summer T-ball is done as of last Thursday. Our softball playoffs were supposed to start tonight, but obviously the storm kind of delayed that. And our men's Open League Basketball Summer League playoffs starting next Wednesday. Other leagues are about to ramp up. Our fall baseball, they started practice over the weekend. We've got 38 teams. We start games on the 14th of August, 450 players. So our fall kickball league, we've got 8 teams. In our Friday night league, we start August 13th for games, barring weather. And one special event that we did have that does finally have a date is Moms and Mimosas with Aaron O'Pree. It is going to be at CrossFit Hendersonville on October 9th. So it is the Saturday on the back end of fall break. But with it being Breast Cancer Awareness Month, our goal is to partner with other either female-driven community businesses or leadership groups here in town to help run the event.
Any question for Mr. Evans? Thank you, Mr. Evans. Special Events Program Supervisor, Ms. Wise.
All right. So we kicked off the month with the city's annual Freedom Festival, which was probably the largest one we've had to date. People seemed to enjoy the traveling wall that came along with the fireworks. I personally thought they were the best fireworks yet that I've seen since I've been here. There were numerous baseball and softball tournaments this month, especially with the USSSA's National Championships and PGF's big tournament, which both had a lot of teams participate. And then in between all of this, there were also a fishing tournament and a youth fishing and lacrosse camp. Coming up, we've got the annual Sumner Fest event next Saturday, which is hosted by the Chamber of Commerce. The Homebound Meals will be having its motorcycle ride event at Drakes Creek Park on August 7th. Cross Country kicks off its season on August 10th. USSSA has another softball tournament this month. And then to wrap up the month, we have the one and only Big Bubba's Bash on August 18th, which coincides with the USA softball tournament starting the next day. And then I do believe GMB has some few more tournaments this month. And then just FYI, I did check the calendar, and his March 25th and 26th does work, so he should be good with that. And that's all that I have.
Please excuse me. One, I need to apologize to
Okay.
you and apologize to the board. This has been a long day. I got a national championship on Chickamauga going on right now. 350 teams down there. I messed up the dates. You had them right.
It is? Okay.
It is April 9th.
Okay, so that is good.
So please accept my apology on that. It's just road travel worry.
I get it.
So do you need the 8th and the 9th?
It'll just be the night of the 8th if we leave
Okay.
it down there.
Okay. So
I
8,
mean, it'd be like 6 o'clock at night. So
Okay.
the 9th is the most important.
Andy, do we need to amend that?
No, you said pending working with the staff on the date. I think we're good.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good luck to your tournament.
Any questions for Ms. Wise? All right. Assistant Maintenance Supervisor, Mr. Granat.
Good evening. Thanks, everyone, for being here. One announcement I wanted to make is the Rotary Fountain, Memorial Fountain is shut down. We had a pipe bust this weekend, so we're working on that. Hope to have it back up and running the next couple of days. We've had several water line repairs over the last few weeks in the parks. I guess it's just that dry ground choosing to break some pipes, it seems. Hadn't been anything else to tie it to. Also have some sewer line issues at the quad, so we've got some restroom closures there. Looking to hope to have that repaired for the weekend. We'll see how that plays out. Making some final repairs at Inline for them to have their final season there at the original Inline. So that's nice to hopefully be done with making repairs there so we can move on to the much better facilities. I'm still looking for volunteer groups. If anybody knows of anybody that you can reach out to, have them get in contact with me or the Parks office, but definitely could use some volunteer groups for projects. And we are also currently recruiting for part-time employment. Please call 615-822-3898 to obtain information on applying. I'll take any questions if anybody has any.
Any questions for Mr. Granat? Thank you. Assistant Director Dallas Long.
Thank you. About to start up with the fall season. Tennessee United begins practice next week, as well as the middle school soccer league. Rec soccer will begin in about 3 weeks. Their registration ended last week. They're up to 118 teams this year, so that's about 10 teams from this past spring. Football has been going for the past month. They have 8 teams, and they'll begin games mid-August. Rugby will begin practice late August, and flag football has begun taking registrations for their fall league, and they'll be playing on Sundays starting in September. That's about it.
Any questions for Mr. Long? Thank you, Mr. Long. Assistant Director Keith Bruce.
Thank you, Mr. Pike. The Fast Pitch League is still doing still doing sign-ups. Their evaluation is August the 8th, that Sunday afternoon. Hope to start start practicing the week after. The senior men have started back up. They took a couple weeks off with the two big tournaments, then got rained out tonight, unfortunately. So they're back up and running this rest of this week for the senior men. Hockey's still doing sign-ups. Hockey sign-ups. And then the Civitan baseball is still doing practices for the open teams. The Full Count bunch, just like a heads up that they won their division. They won the South Division over the weekend. I think they've still got one more game to play. And I believe, Mr. Bennett, if you'll correct me, I think the record is 31-12 at this moment.
I haven't checked my phone yet, but I think but they did finish first place overall. They're ready for the playoffs. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you. Playoffs will start Friday night, so if you come on out to the park Friday night, 7:05. This will be the first ever home playoff game for the Rhythm. Expecting a big thing, a big crowd, so I think it'll be a nice event. If you have time, come out on Friday. Their term is like 3-game series. It'll start this Friday and go through August the 8th. So big things for their first year. Had a really great year. Finished up a tournament this weekend with GMB. Had a little rain issue yesterday. Worked through that. And then the other thing since the last board meeting, the opening ceremonies for the U-Trip tournament was nice. If you weren't there, weren't able to see that. That was over at the high school. Introduced all the teams. I think we had like 155 approximate teams Tuesday through Sunday, and did the opening ceremonies over the high school. Thank the high school. They helped a lot with meeting rooms and working with the track and so forth. So a really nice event that whole week. Thank you, sir.
Any questions for Mr. Bruce? One question, Andy. Did we have any kind of numbers impact as far as what that tournament meant to the city?
Over $1 million in economic impact. No doubt.
All right. Parks Director, Mr. Gilly.
Thank you, sir. I want to invite everyone out to the Honor 365 Memorial Walk that we're having Friday at 10 o'clock at Memorial Park. Honor 365 is a group going around the country for the 20th anniversary of 9/11. They'll be here. We have several presentations. Have a video from the governor. We've got Daryl Worley coming to perform his Have You Forgotten song about 9/11. It's kind of a big deal to get him during this year to do that. So it should be a good event if you can come at 10 o'clock on Friday to Memorial Park. We got a hot week. We got a staff that has worked their, for lack of a better word, their rear ends off, office and maintenance. So I want to thank them. If you get a chance just to bring them Gatorade or water or anything down there, I'm sure they'd appreciate it this week. I went down there this morning. Some of them had already been through 2 shirts by 9 o'clock. So it was hot stuff. But the staff has done a great job. And also want to congratulate Jeremy. Jeremy applied for and will be taking on the role of a new position in the Parks Department called the Parks Maintenance Superintendent. That will give us back to where we were when we had Chick and Steven before, where we've got one person kind of over all of maintenance. And but different from then, we now have in place underneath them the structure of 2 assistants and crew leaders and things that we did not have as a support system before. So this will be the last time that you'll see a name change on there as far as assistant maintenance supervisor. It takes effect August 7th. But that's all I have, unless anybody has any questions.
Any question for Mr. Gilly? All right, round table. Mr. Bubba?
Good, thank you.
Okay. Mr. Bennett? I'm good. Mr. White?
I want to echo what Director Gilly said, that this has been a busy, hectic month. I've seen those guys down there, and I know that some of them are down there until midnight, and then it starts again the next morning at 6. A lot of people that I ran into in the city over the last month have commented on how well things ran in these big events that we had. These were huge events, and those guys did work their tails off, and they took pride in it. And I actually was stopped on the Greenway this morning over by the fields, and a gentleman, older gentleman, said he just pointed across toward the complex and said, "What a beautifully well-maintained asset this is to our city." And it shows. I want the guys down there to know that the efforts are noticed by a lot of people. And also, one thing that stuck out to me, we had one of the guys down there had a death in the family. I went by the funeral home and I saw several of the guys there. So it's not just a bunch of guys down there punching the clock. It's a tight bunch, and that's what I think shows the most in how they're doing their job down there. And I want to thank them all and appreciate you all, and the staff in the office for the support, because it's a huge asset to this city every day. So thank you.
Mr. Head?
Congratulations, Jeremy, and I'll have to echo what Nathan said. I spent the better part of that last month at the park as well, and it was pretty seamless. I mean, there was no issues. There was lots of people from out of town that said how great the parks looked, how they were amazed that we had slushy machines in our concession stands. I mean, and you know, and I kind of take that for granted, but I'm like, oh, I guess, you know, that's true. But it was the last month, everybody was working 24/7, and I can't think of a better month than we went through. So thanks for everybody's work last month.
I'll just echo what they said. I can't say it any better than they said it. I do want to say how much I appreciate being part of this board and being part of a bigger thing that's much bigger than all of us. It takes everybody, including this staff and the staff down there, to do what we're doing. So my kudos to all of y'all for what you do. I will accept the motion to adjourn. Mr. Bennett, Mr. Heads has seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. We are adjourned.